Welcome to another episode of Ron's Opinion Don't Matter. Just want to say first, God is good and He is worthy to be praised. How about that? Um, Trying today to not get so much into politics. Just kind of wanted to get back onto my subject when it comes to the guns. Get, yeah. Just give me a second. Yeah. More so wanting to get on the subject of guns and, you know, of that matter. I mean, I know guns sometimes bring out political conversation, but just kind of want to stay away from it a little bit. But it's okay. I wanted to get into the gun conversation because me and my brother, if you're here, please hit the like button. Put something in the chat so I can know who you are and that you're in the building. But anyway, me and my brother was a couple of weeks ago. We went to the gun show, and I love going to the gun shows. Like I really love going to gun shows. I was basically going there because I had seen a video of somebody having a semi-automatic shotgun. What's up, Chris? For real, welcome in. Somebody had it was a video of a new semi-automatic shotgun that came out, and I just wanted to try to see if somebody had it there, and I wanted to see what it looks like, feel it in my hand and stuff like that. And they had some, and it was clip fed semi-automatic shotgun. So that's why I was there hunting around trying to put my hands on one. I do have a shotgun and it's semi-automatic, but it's a tube. It's not don't have a clip. So that's what I wanted. But I went there, seen a couple of them, kind of put my hands on a few things, touch it, feel it, see how it feels on my shoulder. And at some point I'm gonna go. I didn't want to get it then. Really didn't, didn't see much of what I wanted or how I wanted, what I actually wanted. But I did see a few things. But then I came across this 5.56 that they was actually adding accessories to it, and man, that thing was nice. They wanted like $3,000 for it, but I was like, nah, I can't do it. That's too much money. Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm not gonna say that a $3,000 gun isn't worth $3,000. I don't know. To somebody else, it probably is. Looking at it and all the accessories they had on it, probably was worth $3,000. But I was just like, I gotta get a hold on this. I can't just keep jumping out here and spending money on these guns and stuff like that. But anyway, so that was that. And then, me and my brother was looking. He's not really into firearms, but he wanted to get into the firearms thing. I'm not a long time person that's been in the firearms, but I love it now that I'm in it, and I just, it kind of grew with me. But anyway, so he wanted to get a 40. I think he said a 44 Magnum or something. I'm like, why would you want to just get a 44 Magnum? I said, bro, he's like, for home defense. I'm like, man, you ever seen people shoot those things? It's not easy to control. So then, we talked about it, and I said, maybe you might want to look at something else. Maybe hit the range a couple of times, rent a few different type guns, get a feel for different things, and then you'll find out in that where you're more comfortable at as far as a firearm goes. But if you in the chat and, you watching or whatever, just if you're a person that's into guns, let me know what do you like? Just put in the chat, tell me what you like. What kind of handguns you like. So I know you in the building, whatever. But handguns, shotguns, rifles, whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? But for me, I like rifles. I really like rifles. But, handguns, of course, are necessary. Shotguns I have and stuff like that. But I gravitate more to rifles, I guess, because I like the way they feel, whatever, and I like the way they shoot. I don't know. But I'm just right now, and I think rifles are my thing. But when I seen that semi-automatic shotgun, I was just like, that's kind of like a rifle, but not, just because it had the AR, it was like an AR-15 style shotgun. But I'm gonna eventually get one, just not right now. But, I'm just trying to figure out, for those that are in the chat, what do y'all like? Where y'all head is at when it comes to firearms? I put a little clip out of a video where somebody, it's a group of guys is out there shooting, and I look at these clips and different videos I watch, and I see all these people out here just recklessly shooting at people, man. I'm not for that. Like, I just think that is the worst thing, one of the worst things ever. I don't agree with. I think there's a better way to handle certain things. I said sometimes it comes down to that, but I think a lot of times that a lot of these young people out here are misinformed of what a firearm is, and I think we as people that are more informed with firearms, we need to really get out there and get a hand on some of these younger people and tell them that, what you guys are out here doing with these firearms, that's not what they're for. They're not. And you're hurting your own people and you're killing people for senseless stuff. For what? Why can't you just learn to enjoy the firearm in a safe space where nobody gets hurt? Why is that so complicated? Why do everybody going out? Why? I'm not going to say everybody, because everybody's not doing that. Majority of Americans not out here trying to kill nobody. But for these ones that are out here doing this recklessly, man, like, why? There's no, like, what is that? What is that? Why would y'all want to go out there and just shoot up your community, hurt innocent people? For what reason? What are you trying to prove? For what? For some fruit out, a little bit of money? You don't earn no turf. Nobody owns turf. Like, you can sit there and say, oh, this is my block. It's my block. It's not your block. First of all, you probably not a taxpayer on that block. You probably don't even own a home on that block. How is it your block? You're not even making sense. And you out here shooting and trying to hurt people for what? There is so much more about owning a firearm that you can enjoy than out here trying to hurt each other. And nobody's going to die. I mean, you get hit at the range, take a group of your friends, have fun. And everybody, do it in a safe manner, and everybody go home safe. Ain't nobody got killed, ain't nobody. And then you get to, you sit back and y'all talk about it, make fun of each other, man. You ain't ready yet. You can't shoot that good, whatever way you want to go with it. But there's no point of being out here in these streets doing this. And I grew up in the hood. Like, when I say people, when I talk to people, a lot of times people don't realize, when I say I grew up in the hood, I grew up in the hood. If you don't know, I grew up in North Philadelphia. If you know, Joe Frazier boxing gym was not that far from where I live at, and not there no more. But a lot of great boxers came out of that area. When they say Hard Knock Philadelphia, whatever case may be, a lot of the boxers and stuff, they came from the areas I am. Bernard Hopson came from the area where I live at. Kevin Hart, places like that. So we know, and Philadelphia is not an easy city. Like, you see, it's always on the news. Somebody shooting at somebody killing, whatever case may be. And a lot of times, they don't even realize why they have these firearms. They really don't. They're out here trying to prove something on the street. They pick up a gun. Oh, you like the Smith & Wesson? Okay, Chris, for real. Okay, they're nice. I actually have a Smith & Wesson, so yeah, I feel you on them. I'll get back into that a little bit later about the Smith & Wesson, one that I do have. But yeah, they out here doing all this reckless stuff. And there's no point in that. Why are we doing that? I know you're not making sense. There's no reason to be out here trying to shoot and kill somebody. For what? What are you trying to prove? Learn about the firearm. Learn how to respect the firearm. Go back, get into your community, teach the firearm lesson to people that are there. You get what I'm saying? Teach the lesson. Make it a positive, put a positive spin on it so these guys will understand that the firearms are not what you see on TV. That's not what it's for. For you to act like you a gangster and all that stuff. Why do y'all want to do that? But again, I grew up in Philly, and I'm telling you, most of the young people that pick up these guns, they have no clue why they have them. They just out here doing reckless stuff. Reckless. Trying to prove that they the big boy on the block, whatever. It's no point. A gun does not make you tough. It don't. You don't need it for that reason. I mean, you need it, but it don't make you tough. Because we all bleed. Every last one of us bleed. And we can die just as fast as another person. So it doesn't make you invincible. So the reason why you should have it, you need to learn why we have guns and learn how to appreciate what is cool that it is, as opposed to trying to go out there and hurt someone. There's no point in that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I have firearms, and I have no intentions of going out there hurting nobody. None. Zero. Now, yes, I do want to go hunting. Never did it, but I do want to do it. I go to the range when I can, at moments here and there. I enjoy my firearms. I have no intention of hurting nobody. I have no intention of killing nobody. None at all. And nothing about that makes me want to do it. If your head is if you pick up a firearm and all you think about is going to hurt, you don't need to have one. Put it away. Just put it away, get it out your hand, because obviously mentally you're not ready for it. And that's the truth of the matter. If you feel as though a firearm in your hand make you a tough dude, or make you this and make you that, then put the gun down and put it away and get it out your hands. You ain't ready for it. Because that's not what it's for. I don't pick my guns up and think I'm better than the next person, because it don't mean that. But when I do have them, I enjoy them. I go to the range. I get to have fun. Once in a while, I get to go with a friend of mine, whatever case may be, and we enjoy them. And you learn from other people that's there. You strike conversation, see what they shooting. They come see what you're shooting, and y'all have a ball. Y'all have fun doing it. You have fun doing it. You go home, nobody got hurt. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got killed. Whatever. Now, it's the same thing. So I don't understand. I mean, I get these guys want to protect her. I don't get it, because it just makes sense at all. But, where I grew up at, yeah, I've seen it. I mean, I grew in the middle, and right in the middle of it. We was poor. When I say poor, we was very poor. I grew up in the middle of all that. Crime everywhere. You know what I mean? Drug dealing, all that stuff. Badlands, all that. That was my neighborhood. 100. And as a young man then, you had to try to navigate through all of that. You're trying to avoid this and trying to avoid that. It's like, man, I ain't trying. Why? Because you're trying to make something of yourself. You're trying to make a better person out of yourself. So it's hard when all of that's around you. I get it. But you don't have to be a part of it. You really don't. You don't have to be a part of what's going on out there. Because at the end of the day, you come back 10, 15, 20 years, you guess what? You're going to see them doing the same thing. And it's sad. It's sad. I'm like, wow, you really don't value your life that much that you are willing to just spend it on the same corner for 30 years? Like I don't even think you know what happens around the corner. You so stuck right here. When the world is so much bigger than that. And I think that's what happens a lot of time. We're being told a lot of bull crap that don't matter, that's not helpful, that you don't even try to expand your life beyond where you live. And I'm not saying you gotta go travel the world. You just need to expand your life beyond where you live. Where I grew up, it was probably 98% of black people. 98%. It was maybe one or two white person there, but majority was black, and then there was a good chunk of Hispanics there too. So I grew up around in that atmosphere. And I'm not saying it was all bad, because honestly, it really wasn't. Now, when I was a kid, it was a little more white people there, but then they started moving out. Now, some of them died. Some of them saying they passed away. Others started moving out. Then they were selling their houses off and stuff like that, whatever. It just, the whole dynamic started to change. But then I just seen how bad the neighborhood was getting. I mean, we didn't move. We couldn't afford to go nowhere. Me and my brothers and them, we grew up in the same house for years. And when I say we struggle hard, we struggle hard. I seen it. So most kids, when they kids, they can't wait. They say, oh, I can't wait to get grown. My reason that I couldn't wait to get grown, because I really wanted to do it on my own. I was like, no, I don't want to do. I know I love my parents to death, and I know they tried their best, but I was like, you know what? I need to do this on my own. I just can't wait till I'm old enough to do it on my own. That's it. I don't blame my parents for any lack at all. I love them to death. It is what it is. But I just want to do it on my own. I just want to go do life on my own. I don't want to get grown so I can go party and drink and have a good night, because that was not what the plan was. The plan was I want to go try to make some money so I don't have to live like this as much as possible. And that was it. And that's what I stuck to. I wanted to go work. I wanted to go do my thing. And I wanted to go build what I could build. And I wanted to go at full steam, and I didn't want to have to rely on nobody. That's why, I had a conversation with my son, and I said, I don't want nothing from the government. I don't want anything from them. So when people talk to me and I talk about politics, it's because I want minimized government. That's it. I don't want them in my life. I really feel like that if people get away from government and get away from anything that government say they provide, so-called providing, and they find out how much they can do within themselves by taking government limitation off of them, they'll go way farther than the government could ever do. And that's the truth of the matter. If you put that much, if you take that limitation that the government puts over people, say, oh, we'll provide this, and you really put that effort into what you already know that's already in your head, and your talent and your ability, and you sharpen all of that, and you go full steam, that means you took the limitations off of your life, and you'll be able to accomplish way more. Way more. By far more. I have literally gotten to do anything I wanted to do in life. And I'm going to be honest with you, when I was growing up, I was one of those people that said, man, I can't stand this country. I can't stand this country. I thought everything was racist. And I know that racism exists, but I just thought everything was racist. Why? Because that's what I was told all the time. But then when I started expanding my horizon and going different places and stuff like that, it wasn't what that was telling me. It was not what people were telling me. And I'm like, okay, I know it exists, but it was not what people were telling me. But my thing is this, is that when I started to get into firearms, that just opened me up in a different place. I got to be around even more and more people. I'm like, man, I feel like I'm missing out on something. All of these wonderful experiences, all these wonderful places I'm going, all these different groups of people that I'm around, why stick myself and think that I'm supposed to only be a part of one group of people when I'm experiencing all of this around me? And I'm having fun doing it. I'm enjoying it. Listen, I live a stress-free life. I don't stress. I enjoy myself. I'm not rich. I'm not none of that. But I live a stress-free life, and I get to go and do what I want to do when I want to do it. I work. Yeah, I do work. But I still get to do what I want to do. And that's why I don't understand why when we come from places, when we come from hard places are supposed to make you, not break you. It's a test to make you, not break you. But if you let it break you, then you just gave up. Listen, some people say, oh, people was born with a silver spoon in the mouth. Man, we was lucky we had a spoon to eat with. That's how bad it was. So I'm not going to sit there and say that, listen, you can do whatever you want to do in life if you really put the effort into it. And that's the real truth. What's up, Mike, in the building? What's going on, bro? We talking about some guns, man. I was trying to get an idea of what people like. If you're a gun person, what's your favorite gun? But anyway, back to the as Christopher had mentioned about the Smith & Wesson. So I'm gonna get into the Smith & Wesson thing because I got a Smith & Wesson. I like it, and I have the Shield Plus. I think it's a Shield Plus. Anyway, and I like it. Now my reason for buying it, because it was black and gold, and I'm a Steelers fan, so it was black and gold, and it's like, okay, I like it, whatever. But I like the fact that it had that easy slide. Excuse me. And I like the fact that I like the certain features on there, and it actually turned out to be a really good firearm, a little nice handheld firearm that wasn't overwhelming for that I could use for everyday carry, which, for the most part, that's my everyday carry. Sometimes I do switch up, but for the most part, that's the one that I carry on a regular basis. I like Smith & Wesson. I like it, and I think they make very good guns. Most people that I know, they're Glock people. I don't own no Glocks. I don't have not one Glock. Everything that I have is not a Glock. Nothing I have is a Glock. But I don't, but most guys that find they Glock, when I'm in the stores and stuff like that, people are Glock fanatics. I have no idea about Glock. I don't know nothing about Glocks. They be like, I got a Glock 19, I got this, and I'm like, I have no idea. What's up, Sean? How you doing, brother? Weathers, what's that? What's that, Sean? Like I said, I have no idea what a Glock is. I'm like, I've seen them. I've held them. Oh, okay. Is that your favorite? What's your favorite, Sean? Like, what is your favorite firearm? Something that you may be partial to. But yeah, I was like, man. Okay, so far, I feel you, man. Now, listen, when it comes to handguns, I'm not gonna say that my Smith & Wesson is my favorite. I'm gonna honestly say that my Ruger is my favorite. Now that I think about it, my Ruger American is my favorite. That was my first firearm I ever purchased. So my Ruger American I'm gonna say is my favorite when it comes to handguns. But when it comes to rifles, my 458 So Commons. That's so far. Like I said, because you don't know. Someone said so far, and I get what he's saying, because something is your favorite until you get a new favorite. And then you end up being like, all right, I like this one, but I like that one. Because I had my 458, and I was like, man, I like this gun or whatever. Then I ended up getting a 5.56 because the 458 ammo is just so expensive. It's like you can end up spending $2 just on one bullet. So I can't keep taking this to the range. One box, that's almost $6. No, I'm good. So I ended up buying a 5.56 so I could have a rifle that was a little more common, and the ammunition was cheaper. But me and my son, when we took the 5.56 to the range, we was like, honestly speaking, Dad, we don't feel like we're missing out. This is just nice to shoot as the other one is. So Oh yeah, you're gonna change, and I agree with Sean when he said that so far. And I mean, because you gotta leave that one open, man. Because when I seen that, I can't even think of the name of the gun, but it basically was a 12 gauge shotgun, but it was a clip fed. Man, I wanted that thing so bad. I was like, man, and it might turn around, I fight, and it might turn around to be my favorite gun. I don't know, I really don't. But sometimes you just don't know, and it might turn around to be one of my favorites. I don't know, but once I get to that point where I put a little bit of money away, so I don't hurt nothing trying to do it. Then I might go grab it and see how that works out, man. But just a little bit of real talk. I really wish that somehow or another we could get our hands on these younger people that's out here doing this reckless stuff with these guns, man, and get their head out of that stuff. Because it's so much more fun when you get a firearm and you actually use it and you're doing the right thing with it, and you go into the gun range, maybe go out and do. Listen, I've never been hunting, but I watch hunting shows all the time, and I am jealous because I have never been hunting and I want to go so bad. But and you get to watch this stuff and they're out there, they're doing stuff, and then you start to respect a lot of it, because I see a lot of the guys that are out there hunting, they don't hunt just to be out there hunting, and they don't take food that they not intend to eat, or eat and stuff like that. So and then I realized how much effort they put into to conserve the animals, to conserve the species and stuff like that. So they're not just out there killing stuff. They're actually out there doing some good, and people don't never tell you that side of it. They just say, oh, they're out there killing. Like, no, these people are really, they put a lot of money and effort into this. And I was like, wow. So I'm actually learning a lot about, even though I never went, I'm watching a lot of the shows and stuff like that. And it's interesting. I'm not really a TV person. Like most people watch a lot of television. I really don't watch a lot of television, but that grabbed my interest, and I watch more of that type of TV than anything. But yeah, like I said, I agree with Sean. Like when it comes to my firearm, what do you think of a woman with guns? Honestly, I think every woman should have a gun. And that's real talk, Chris. For real, I agree with you. But if you ask in my opinion on whether a woman should have a gun, this is what I think. Unfortunately, women are at a disadvantage when it comes to physiology. Most men are a lot stronger than women. And women got to move about this world. And unfortunately, we got bad men out there that have bad intentions. And I'm telling you that the gun can be the equalizer. So I think that not only should a woman own a firearm, she should learn how to be efficient with it. And learn how to use it as best as possible to be able to defend herself. She should be efficient with that gun. That way, if she's out about my business, trying to go about her life, listen, that gun is the equalizer. It means that here's the reality. You can't, I don't know, something just went weird on the screen, I don't know. But here's the reality. When you're out and looking at, and you're a woman and you're moving around and you don't know what's going on behind you and stuff like that, and if something looks suspicious, if you want to call the police, that's fine. But here's the thing, we all know that the police response time is horrible. And now it's worse because most places have a shortage of police officers because they just don't want to do their job no more. So, and the reality of it is that you should look at that and say, okay, I don't have time a person coming to get you is not going to go give you a chance to call 911. That's one. But let's just say you get a chance in 911 that call before they decide to attack or whatever they're going to do. They're still not going to get there soon enough. But that gun on your hip, in your purse, gives you a lot more fighting chance within seconds. Within seconds. Because at the end of the day, they're going to be coming in minutes. It's going to take them minutes. You only have seconds. So that gun gives you closer to the seconds that you're going to need to possibly defend yourself. So I think any woman out there, you need to have your firearm, you need to go to the range, and you need to learn how to use it efficiently. More than once. Don't go to the range once and just think, okay, I think I got it. No, because you don't have it. Because what the thing about it is that you have a nervous system. You have a functionality system. And the more you're around that type of environment, the more comfortable you become with the sounds and everything like that. And the more you're efficient with that gun, you're not going to be trying to figure it out at the last moment. You're going to be efficient. So I think, personally, any woman out there, you need to have your firearm, and you need to take that sucker just about everywhere you go. And that's just my opinion. But that's my opinion on that, Chris, for real. If you should. Muscle memory. Hey, you know what, Sean? You're absolutely right. I'm glad you brought that up. Now, Sean said, he put on there, he said muscle memory. Now, There's a study out there, and this is something you stand into a doorway, door with like this part of your arm and this part of it, press real hard for like a minute. You press hard as you can, and you had to count for like a minute. It was real hard, and you had to keep counting. And then when you stepped away from the door and you hold your arms like this, your arms would lift up automatically. Like you didn't even have to use the effort. Now I don't know if it worked with everybody, but it worked on me. It was kind of weird feeling because it was like when I put my arms down, they just lift up on their own and didn't do anything. So when he said muscle memory, all your muscles have memory. And the more you use your muscle to use that firearm, it's going to remember how you're doing it. So you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it. The muscles are going to remember that, and it's going to help you become a better shooter. So I know what he mean by muscle memory. I'm not getting too far in it because I don't want to just overstate it. But what he's saying about muscle memory makes sense because, it did some weird stuff. Yeah, Christopher, you're right. It did some weird stuff for me too. But again, you need that muscle memory when you hold that gun and how you position that gun and your muscles and stuff like that. It's going to help you. It's going to make your muscle remember, so you'll be able to control the recoil and everything else. And then having the same gun, using it efficiently, helps that too, because if you're using the same gun, the recoil and none of that stuff changes. And then your muscle remembers, and the recoil doesn't really move, so it kind of helps along the way. And that's why I think Sean was absolutely right by bringing that up, is the muscle memory is a factor too. So if you're using it on efficient and then your muscles remembering all of those recoil movements and you reposition yourself and reposition the way you aiming and stuff like that, and your muscles remembering all that, he's absolutely right. That is another way that will help you become a better shooter. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I think I'm okay with a handgun. I don't think listen, I was at the range. When I go to the range, I watch a lot of people shoot because I just want to see how they're doing, what they use, and how. And that's a lot of how I learned myself, is just watching other people. Now I think I'm okay. I'm at okay standard. I don't think I'm the best shooter when it comes to using a handgun. And the reason why I say that, because you think you're good until you see somebody that's good. So one day I'm at the range. This guy beside me in the next range over, and man, he is tearing the middle of that range. That he's driving. He's pulling out. He's beep fire. When you pull it out, he go beep, and he pulls his gun out, he bang, 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 and he put it back in the holster. To the point where I just kind of stopped and I started watching him. When I say this dude was off the chain, and he set the standard for me. I said, listen, I'm not gonna call myself a good shooter when it comes to a handgun until I get like that, because homeboy was tearing it up. I don't know who he was. I don't know if he was a police officer or what, but I just stopped shooting for a good 15 minutes watching him because I was so impressed by it. Never seen nobody shoot that good. I mean, it's probably a lot of people out there that shoot like that, but I just never saw it. And I'm like, wow, this dude's off the chain. I was like, man, if some war was to break out right now, I want him on my team. But yeah, he was off. But but I just consider myself to be okay. I'm a lot better with the rifle than I am with the handgun, because I think probably because my mind likes the rifle so much, I go into a zone with it, and it's just like, oh man, I got the rifle now. But that's just me. But again, like, for those that are firearm people, enthusiasts and stuff like that, man, these young people out here that don't know no better, they really need your knowledge. They really need your know-how. They really need to understand it. If they don't get the knowledge from the people that know the right thing to do with our firearms, they're gonna keep learning this stupid stuff from the streets. So I think me personally, because I try to do it, I do it a lot, and anybody else that is an honest gun owner, I think we have a small responsibility to get out and maybe grab one of these young boys out there that's out, what they're doing, and teach them the right way and show them the right way that, this is not what this is for, bro. Let me show you what this is about. And you might change one of them perspective. They might end up actually respecting the gun like they supposed to respect it, using it for what it's supposed to be used, because it's a great tool. It's fun. It's a stress reliever. It's a great tool to have. But you want to do it the right way. You definitely want to do it the right way. You don't want to be out there doing this reckless stuff. You don't want to be doing this stuff, the crazy stuff out there. And that's why when just a small thing about the politics, that's the reason why it's hard. I would never support any candidate across the board. Don't care who they are. When you start trying to talk about controlling people's firearms, like, that's just a big one with me. I don't, you vote for when you want to vote for, to whatever. But that's why I'm big on, when it comes to candidates, talking about controlling your firearms. Because at the end of the day, you're not more important than me. I don't. You never let your. At the end of the day, you don't let your enemy tell you what type of weapon you should have, and you should look at the government as your enemy, regardless of who they are. I'm not saying they all bad. We know they're not all bad, but a lot of them are. But you should always look at the government like, why would I let my enemy disarm me? That don't make sense. If you was getting ready. All right, I'm trying to read what this one person wrote on there because it was kind of. All right, this person is little. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Little something. I can't read the rest of it because it's kind of so small over there. But they were saying about they don't understand why police officers always have fatalities when they go to shoot. Police officers are trained differently. Now, I know a few police officers and they're trained differently. They're not trained to hit legs and arms. That's the reality of it. They're not trained to hit legs, arms, none of that stuff. Police officers are trained to hit the body. They're not going to try. They're not. That's unfortunately a lot of people ask that question. But I'm gonna tell you something, and I don't know how well you use it or when it comes to firearms and stuff like that. But if you're going to try to shoot somebody in the leg, it's not that easy. If you try, yeah. Sean said send a mask. And absolutely right. If you try to shoot somebody in the leg, it's not that easy because legs and arms move fast. If you're doing all this and you're trying to hit that, it's not that easy to hit. This right here is the mass of your body, and that's why they're trained to hit that. That's why they're trained to hit that. And when you trying to hit an arm and stuff like that, it would probably be nice that a police officer could take the chance to just put in the leg and hitting the arm and something like that. And I get all of that stuff, but unfortunately, they train differently. They just train to end the threat. And I'm be honest with you. A part of me does agree with it, and a part of me is like, I wish you could save the life. But when if you got to put yourself in their predicament and say, if someone came into your house and they had bad intentions to you, and you have a firearm, you have a chance to defend yourself, you probably wouldn't want to hit the leg and arm because if they still have the firearm, they still have a chance to get to you. Now, you can try to be a good shoot and say, I want to hit that arm. That's the chances of you hitting the arms and legs are not that easy. But if you hit that mass and you hit that chest, you might have a better chance of stopping them. The body shot and the head shots is what they go for the most. It's to end the threat. That's what they're trying to do. Unfortunately, that's the way they train. And I understand why they train. I understand why they train that way. It would be nice to be able to preserve life. You know what I mean? But here's the thing about this is if you out here and you're doing crime, police officers got guns. There's a possibility a gun going to show up with guns. And there's a good possibility that if you're doing something and you got to go to them, you are ready before that even to do. Now, we know that there are some incidents where people are innocent and they don't have a gun and it ain't come to that. I understand those situations. I'm not talking about them. We know those situations and police officers make bad decisions. We know they do. Unfortunately, they do. And it happens, more often than we would. We don't want nothing to happen, but it does happen, and it's messed up. But unfortunately, for the other part of it is that when you out here committing crime, you out here harming and doing stuff to people. And that's the ones that I'm talking about. The ones that's actually out here doing bad stuff to bad people, good people, and people minding their business. The other situation where police officers make bad choices and do stuff they're supposed to do, then I have no respect for that police officer. I don't care too much. I don't care. You know what I mean? Now you on the other side of it and you get what's coming to you. Okay, I get it. I get what you're saying. And here's the thing. I don't know a whole lot. I know the subject you're talking about. I don't know a whole lot of it, but someone showed me a part of the video. I didn't really could see it very, very clearly, but the part of that video that they showed me, listen, I don't care what nobody say, that police officer was flat out wrong. That's the only way I can say it. In my opinion, he was 100% wrong. I don't see nothing in that video that says he should have did. Look, first of all, as a man, I'm not even going to. I'm going to talk from a man perspective. First of all, before you even become a police officer, I'm going to talk from me being a man perspective. Sometimes you got to look at the situation from a man perspective and say, is this a threat to me? That's the reality of it. Before you get into the police officer aspect of it, as a man, is and I can't count too many cases that I'm going to look at a situation when there's a female involved and feel like I'm under threat when it comes to like, oh, you might take my life. I'm sorry, I'm just not. That's just the type of man. I'm not saying a woman can't kill me. That's not what I'm saying. I know that there's a possibility a woman can. But the first thing I'm going to look at. Yeah, I'm not too sure what you mean by that, but I thought the subject y'all were talking about, let me know, am I on the subject or maybe it's something that I'm missing in that, with your statement. But anyway, I'll figure it out in a little bit. Yeah, but in that situation, yeah, I'm as a man, I don't feel, I'm just the type of dude, I don't really feel no threat by women unless, she can have a knife in her hand and I might be like, okay, I got to figure out how to get the knife on it. I'm not trying to hurt them. I'm just going to make sure you can't hurt me. That's it. And that don't mean I got to kill you to do that. I'm not saying I'm the strongest man in the world, but I'm strong enough to know that there's things I can do to stop you from hurting me. If somebody has, so that's why I wasn't too sure what they meant by that. But at the end of the day, you don't have to, you don't have to, as a police officer, I'm not a police officer. I never know. I know people that are, and under a lot of stress. But you don't, police officers train to eliminate threat. They don't train for arms and stuff like that. They need that mask to stop the threat. But I wasn't, they made a comment. I'm not too sure where they was going with that. So I'm going to wait and see if am I on the subject or maybe I'm not. But at the end of the day, man, as men, women, as a man, I don't see women as a physical threat to me. So like, listen, I had incidents years ago where I had a woman that decided she wanted to put her hands on me. And, you can't hurt, I'm just going to I'm going to grab you and hold you, maybe put a little bit of tension on my strength and put my weight on you. And eventually your arms and legs are going to get tired. You're going to be like, he's too strong. You're going to realize it. But I'm not going to beat up on her. I'm not the type of dude that will beat up on a woman or put my hands on them. I don't do that. I'm just going to make sure you don't have no weapon and nothing like that to hurt me. But I don't understand that. So I can't understand why a police officer in that situation would just pull out a gun and shoot somebody because they had some hot water. Like, all right, I can you throw the hot water in the pot at me. I'm going to dip the hot water and I'm going to dip the pot. All right, you threw it. You okay? That's it. If that was the case, I don't even think she threw the water at him or nothing like that, but I'm saying some people did say that she did, but there was nothing about that situation that looked like a threat to me. So, but to each his own, they have their own opinions about it, but I just don't, I don't even see why that went that way. I really don't. But, hopefully I answered that question. I wasn't too sure if that, once they retyped it in there, it means those with knives, hot water, and books. I'm not, maybe there's a subject there that I have no idea about, and I can't really speak on it, but I thought maybe that's what they were talking about. But anyway, you guys have a wonderful, blessed day. I appreciate everyone, again, that came on live. I appreciate, spending time with a brother. And, again, like I always say, man, if you don't have God, get God in your life. You don't have Jesus, get Christ in your life, man. Love him, because I know he loves you, man, and make every day great. And until we meet again, until we talk again, y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. Good night.